Right now, I'm feeling pretty good, though, I will say. Oh, you're so lucky to be here.
I wonder why you're feeling pretty good. All right, I don't usually say this, and I am being incredibly serious. I think Donald Trump was high on something during his visit to a Ford, Michigan plant today, where he not only flipped the bird at some worker who yelled pedophile protector, he not only crashed out on stage in front of everyone, but where he then did an interview with Tony DeCopel from CBS, an absolute MAGA shill who barely pushed back. And in this interview, Trump looks really uniquely old, sweaty, and decrepit. Like, I'm not even gonna lie, I was so incredibly surprised watching it at how sweaty he is, how bad he looks, and this in tandem with his behavior earlier during this visit. I really have some concerns. Like, let's watch this video of the President of the United States. Note how sweaty he is on stage. I mean, this is part of some weird routine he always does, and I hate that I have to say this is like some normal thing he does all the time because it shouldn't be normalized. But even at the end, when he's trying to speak, listen.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Something is up with this human being. This was before he ended up flipping someone off. Take a look. He absolutely flips this guy off, full of pure rage, like a baby, cannot control himself whatsoever. And this reads from CNN, President Trump appeared to flip someone off, and the White House immediately defended this. Stephen Chung, the White House communications director that looks like, I don't even know, like a grown baby, I guess. He says, quote, a lunatic was wildly screaming expletives in a complete fit of rage, and the president gave an appropriate and unambiguous response. Really? You're going to say this was an appropriate, unambiguous. He's trying to make this seem decisive and cool. An 80-year-old dude lost his temper in a fit of rage, and now you're claiming that this guy was in a fit of rage. Are you going to say that he was a, quote, domestic terrorist next? Is that going to be the next defense? But to continue, Trump's onstage presence is completely falling apart. I mean, back in 2016, as much as I disagree with Donald Trump on everything, he paved his way in the Republican primary by being an entertainer on stage. That is just how it is. But his entertainment factor is now becoming more sad. It's like watching a train wreck. Watch this clip.
We're at 18. There's never been anything like this. You are so lucky I allow you into this room to even be with me.
This is an insane thing for the president to say. He repeats multiple times, you're so lucky to be in this room with me. And then he starts talking about, he's like, oh, I feel so good right now.
You are so lucky I allow you into this room to even be with me. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. The fake news will say Donald Trump thinks he's hot stuff. Right now, I'm feeling pretty good, though, I will say. Oh, you're so lucky to be here.
I wonder why you're feeling pretty good. I wonder why he's sweating his ass off. I wonder why his makeup looks so poorly applied today. Do we have a drug-addled president who just poorly wipes some sort of bronzer on his face, goes out on stage, rants, and acts like he has his shit together? I mean, the clips continue to get worse. In this clip, he melts down further.
An incompetent, crooked guy.
No fucking energy whatsoever.
And also, we're freezing any and all welfare payments going to illegal immigrants that will start effective immediately. So when illegals come into California, Gavin Newsom, they come into California.
This guy can literally barely read. He can literally barely read.
So we're working on that very strongly. Just don't pay it. As Nancy Reagan would say, just say no. Remember Nancy Reagan? Just say no to drugs.
Multiple people have tried to say no to you throughout your life, and you haven't taken no for an answer, whether it's the women you've grabbed or whether it's Greenlanders right now who are saying, no, we don't want the United States to invade us. Our drug-addled president then continued to do an interview with Tony DeCopel from CBS, where he, again, just looks really bad. I'm not even exaggerating. Look at this. He looks like, first of all, like a creature from Star Wars with this bronzer on his face. What the hell is going on? But the sweat that's dripping down his face. One of his eyes is swollen shut, and of course his mouth is always droopy on one side. He's asked, every prominent conservative says the probe into Fed Chair Jerome Powell is political retribution. Trump then responds, and Tony DeCoppel from CBS, there's just no pushback ever since it was taken over.
Mr. President, you mentioned the market there. I've got a question that might affect the markets. It's the Jerome Powell situation. He's the Fed chair. I know you've said you had nothing to do with the investigation, the criminal probe into him, but you have been criticizing him for most of the last year. And even some prominent conservatives say it looks like political retribution.
And some prominent conservatives also love it. So, you know, you got to mention them.
What do you say to that accusation?
As you grow older in this position, you have to mention the other side. More people like it than not.
Trump immediately just condescended the CBS producer and is pressuring him to be more right-wing. CBS was taken over by Barry Weiss, who created the free press, ironically. Now the press isn't so free over at CBS. It runs defense for Donald Trump constantly. And now that they've started these MAGA shows, Trump goes on the MAGA shows, demeans the host. I mean, Tony DeCoppel even does say, he says some prominent conservatives love it. And he says, you're saying that it's not a probe into him for political. So he even gives both sides because he's a both sides shill. And Donald Trump still attacks him, immediately attacks the press. It's also crazy. The CBS production is not too good on this. I feel like, why are you doing an interview with really loud background noise at a plant? I mean, this is your first exclusive interview with the president since you get your new gig, and you can't tell everybody, like, hey, can we go do this interview somewhere a bit more quiet? Like, listen to how much background noise there is.
Get the nod. He's been a lousy Fed chairman. He was reappointed by Biden. I was a little surprised at that because I didn't think he really earned his stripes. He's been too high on interest rates, and I call him too late. He's too late to reduce.
You know, Trump one time said that he doesn't know who appointed Jerome Powell, and then he was definitely informed behind the scenes that he was the one who appointed Jerome Powell. So then he revised his wording. He's revised his wording since then, and he goes, Biden reappointed Jerome Powell. It's just insane how he never backs down. That good old Roy Cohen in him. Never back down. Here's him gaslighting about the U.S. economy, speaking about never backing down.
The economy, while we have you here, the inflation numbers came out. Overall, not bad, but grocery prices.
No, overall, very good. Good for us. Good for our country.
What macroeconomic indicators are good right now? He points to egg prices going from like a massive peak down to a little bit less of a peak due to the bird flu. Other than that, every indicator is going in the wrong direction. Unemployment has gone up since he's gotten in office. Inflation has gone up, especially since Liberation Day. He says that inflation has gone down, but when Biden left office, it was 2.9%. Now it's above 3%. And inflation is also so deeply embedded within the economy that it's not going to go back down. It doesn't go back down. That's not how it works. Yet Donald Trump gaslit on the campaign and now can't live up to his promises.
Joe Biden had the highest inflation numbers in history, correct?
The direction
I have them down
In history? In history? What?
to a level that they haven't seen in about 9 years.
And Mr. President, help me understand, when I travel the country and I go all over the place and I talk to everyday Americans, they tell me they don't feel it because
Well,
grocery
they
prices
might not,
are up.
but they're going to now. I've only been here for 11 months, okay? And, you know, the first few months were really rough, if you look at them, because I inherited a mess. I inherited a mess of crime. I inherited a mess of inflation.
Okay, just to knock this down, he said on day one prices would be lowered. That didn't happen. Now he's saying I've only been in for 11 months. He then said the war with Ukraine would be over, not over. He said Gaza and Israel would be at peace. They're not at peace. The ceasefire, quote unquote ceasefire, was immediately broken. He said he'd release the Epstein files. Now it's the largest cover up in American history. He made fun of Biden's age, and now he's the one that's aging and looking decrepit on camera. He said that Biden had an auto pen. He claimed Biden was the auto pen president, yet he doesn't know half of the damn pardons he's given. Honestly, he doesn't know 90% of the pardons he's given. People just put shit in front of him, and he signs it like a mindless drone because Stephen Miller tells him to. He is an absolute puppet, and you can see the strings getting worn out, so to speak. I mean, just look at this guy. I love you all. I'll see you in the next video, and peace out.